This is my diesel mini bike. I bought the frame from a guy for about $100. It didn't come with an engine and it was pretty damaged. I had a diesel engine and a shock laying around, and I decided I wanted to build a full suspension mini bike. This mini bike came with a front fender made out of license plates. The tire and the bearings were all shot in the front, and it came as an accessory. I put the front tire on, and then I took measurements to see if I could fit the engine inside. It's a lot bigger. It's a diesel Yanmar L70. Decided that it wouldn't work, so I had to cut the frame, plug the frame with some grade 8 bolts all the way around, and then re-supported. I cut the whole back end off the bike, and I had some lower control arms from a Jeep that I had laying around that I thought would make a good support for a swing arm. So I welded those together. I had to make a pivot point, and then I mounted the engine. I had an adjustable Fox shock off a Polaris Razor. I wanted to use that for my swing arm. I used the ATV spring. It didn't have a spring. And then I used a piece of metal that I had off an old lawnmower. And then I adjusted the kickstand for height. I used this square gas tank. It came as part of the deal. So I figured why not use it and everything else laying around. And then I mounted these 4 headlights. I thought they looked pretty cool, and then it turned out that those headlights didn't work at all. That's why you test things before you put them on and wire them up. Now the crankshaft on this L70 diesel engine, it was tapered before, so I actually took an angle grinder and spun it around and actually took a lot of material off, and then I used an adapter to be able to put this backing plate on for the CVT. It was a lot of work and it was a lot of measuring. It took a real long time, but I got it on there. Here's the CVT mounted to the bike. I also had to make a chain tensioner because the chain had too much slop on the top and on the bottom. I made about 3 different prototypes of chain tensioner. None of them worked. The one that I eventually put on there didn't work either, but it was enough to keep the bike moving. I made a battery tray and supported where I previously had cut the frame. I got the chain straight and everything mounted. Here's my final chain tensioner. Next, I wired up the charging and starting circuit, and then I worked on the lights. I had to buy new headlights because the original headlights I had on there didn't work. And then I decided to make a tail light too. To protect my leg while riding, I added the CVT cover. I added a couple fenders, front and rear. Wanted to make sure that I didn't have rooster tails of dirt flying around everywhere. Just a couple looks of the bike. On the recoil start, I added a Modest Mechanic sticker for more horsepower. And then I also decided I was going to put some bags on the back, like saddle bags, so I could carry around tools and other various parts. I made a adjustable kickstand because I know how hard it is to make your kickstand level in sandy conditions, and that's where I'd be riding. So I made it adjustable. Overall, I think my build was a success. I won an award for both my diesels at the show from the Cars and Camera guys. And then moving forward, like every good project, it needs improvement. So I'm going to get hot and heavy on that and then see if I can go out there and see if it'll perform. So here's the bike today. I'm gonna try to change this fuel tank out to a bike fuel tank. I gotta change that return line. I had problems down here with my tensioner device I spoke about earlier, where the bearing actually went out. I'm gonna get rid of this tensioner, and I'm going to use a jack shaft, and I'm gonna move the sprocket to the other side of the tire. I'm gonna add hydraulic brakes to the rear instead of this band brake that I can't stand. Yeah, more videos to come. Be work in progress. Thanks for watching.